All right, we are live today with Lisanne Murphy. Super excited to have Lisanne back. This is our second interview. And since we talked, I don't remember when we talked. It's been weeks, months,
Yeah,
right?
it's been months. It was right after the first round.
Right after the first round.
Yeah.
We've seen more progress since then, so we wanted to fill everybody in and super excited to have her here with us. So thanks for joining us, Lisanne.
Oh, it's my pleasure. It's totally my pleasure, Jared. I had a
So,
blast. And it was honestly like the interview like helped me like want to keep going. And so we'll just keep interviewing and I'll just
it's accountability, right? That's what it is. Like you put yourself out there, you go, I have to be this way now because I told everybody I am. So
totally.
No, that's awesome. Well, I was telling everybody, or I was telling Lisanne before, since everybody's joining now, I was saying she looks great. I'm super. We've had lots of conversations up to this point, but I know she's feeling great. She's excited, so I'm excited to hear more about her experience. So
yeah, I'm excited to share.
Well, let's join in. So let's go back. How long has it been together, or that we've been working together now?
So I started the program day one of my loading day of my first round was July 4th. So I started on the 4th of July. So I ate
that's right.
like 18 hot dogs and 3 hamburgers and
yeah. So it's been whatever that's been, almost 8 months or 9 months or 8 months, I guess it is. Complete full 8 months.
Yeah.
So super excited. Okay, so before July, let's fill everybody in just like this. If they've never heard your story before, where were you at before? What were you experiencing? What had you done before?
Yeah.
Kind of led you up to jumping in, working with me.
Yeah. So my whole life, I've always been like a really active individual. But my activities, like my activity level wasn't driven by like an internal desire to be healthy and to be fit. It was because I had mandatory activities. So like all growing up, I was in all kinds of sports. And so I was always really active with sports. And then when I went to college, I continued to be active in sports with intramurals. And then I was walking to campus all the time. So like health wasn't a mindset. And because I like looked good and I felt good generally, like I just didn't worry about it. And then when I graduated with my undergrad, I got my first desk job and the weight gain just started at that point. And so I tried a number of different things. Like I found marginal success with everything that I tried. Like I would go off of sugar for a while and I'd drop like 10 pounds, or I'd go off of gluten for a while and I'd drop like 10 pounds. But the year over year weight gain was still increasing. Does that make sense? So like I was like this steady increase and I'd have like a drop because I'd like try something dramatic, but like overall year over year I was going up. And then the real clincher happened when I was in my master's program. And master's degrees they're great, but they're stressful, and you're sitting a lot and you're studying a lot and you're reading a lot. And so during my master's program I gained like 35 pounds. And then after my master's program I got a corporate job and I worked for a Deseret Book up in Salt Lake. In the department that I worked in, it was all women. So like because we're emotional creatures, there was like treats and donuts and snacks and chips. And upstairs on the 8th floor, we had unlimited soda every day. I was actually just thinking about this just yesterday, how like I would drink Diet Coke like all day, every day. And it wasn't like I like felt like I needed it. I was just like, why not? It's available. It's right there all the time. And so during that year of employment, I think I gained 20 or 30 pounds. I mean, it was a lot. And it got to a point where like, every time I tried to lose weight, I'd hop on the scale and I'd be like, how did I let myself get here? Like, I can't believe I'm here. And so I'd try to lose weight and I would be successful, but then I'd go back to my old habits and I'd gain it again. And then the next time I'd be on the scale, I'd be even more weight than the last time. I was like shocked. And I was like, how did I let myself get here? And like, I did that. That was an 8-year pattern. Honestly, it was an 8-year pattern of like doing something really dramatic to lose the weight, but then going back to old habits and then getting even higher than I was before. And it was really, really depressing. So when I found you, I'd been doing isogenics for 9 months. And the shakes, I was tired of the shakes and the pills, and they were literally making me sick. And before that, I'd done Herbalife, I'd done MetaFast, I'd done Weight Watchers, I had done the gluten-free and sugar-free and dairy-free route. But nothing was like about a health mindset. It was all like, I don't like the way that I look and I want to wear a smaller size pants. Like that's like what it really came down to. So I had seen your stuff. I don't even know how I came across your stuff originally, but like I saw your posts, which are very like polarizing on purpose, but I saw your posts of like lose 25 to 40 pounds or 20 to 45 pounds or whatever it is in 6 weeks. And I saw your stuff for like probably 9 months. And I was just like, that's the biggest load of bull crap I've ever heard. Like that, there is no way, because I had tried everything. And like, even though, like I was for the most part health conscious, like my refrigerator is always full of vegetables, always full of fruits. Like I'm not a white flour eater. Like whenever I'd eat bread, like it would be whole grain, and I would always make sure that it was unbleached flour. Like, so like I'm not like naive to like good habits, but like I just was not getting the results, and it was frustrating. So literally late, I think I've messaged you at like 1 a.m. I was just depressed. Like I'd been on isogenics for 9 months, which was so expensive. I was spending like $500 a month on that program. And in 9 months, I had lost 25 pounds, but because I was getting sick of it, I was getting lazy. I'd gained 12 back. So I'd netted 12 pounds in 9 months of that thing, which was like $4,000. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like this is unbelievable. And so you posted one of your posts, and it was again like lose 20 to 45 pounds in 6 weeks. And we should go back in our messenger chat and see if that first message is still there. But I just reached out to you and I was like, Jared, I've been following you for months, and I think you might be full of baloney, but like I'm desperate. Like, are you willing to have a call with me? And so you got on the call, and you were so nice. You spent so much time with me and like went through every concern, and I had a lot. Sorry, I just like have a hair in my mouth. I had a lot of concerns, like because I'd been through the gamut and I had done so many programs. And when I joined the metabolic reboot, I honestly was still very, very skeptical. But I was also like, there's only up from here. Like, so why not? Why not? And so, but I was like, I had like just got a shipment of isogenics. And so like, I just had like $500 worth of stuff. And I was like, well, Jared, should I use it for a month? And you were like, why? If you know that it's bad for you, like, why would you even do it? And so it's funny. I actually like that supply I actually have sitting on my kitchen counter right now to be shipped to a friend who actually still likes isogenics. So I'm finally getting rid of it, but it's been sitting in my pantry for 9 months.
Yeah.
But, and maybe I shouldn't be promoting unhealthy habits of other people, but she really likes it. So
I say, haven't you like filled her in a little bit? No, I'm just kidding.
But anyway, so the first round was very, very challenging for me. Like, I'll just be like straight up, like it was amazing. Like, so the first round I lost 31 pounds. I lost 27 in the losing phase. And then I had lost another 4 in the locking phase. And so 31 total at the last, when we had our last interview. And it was an amazing experience, but it was like really challenging. Like I'm a trained chef, so I had to completely reteach myself how to cook, and like without using unhealthy oils and grains and dairies and things like that. And so that was a challenge. That was a super challenge for me. And sorry, let me shut my Facebook. And it was just a completely different lifestyle, and it was as much an emotional journey as it was a physical journey. And it took me a long time to like become unattached to what was on the scale. Like if I'd have any day where like I'd gained weight, I'd be like, no, because I'm working so hard. And like at first because you're detoxing, like you feel terrible and you're hungry but the most incredible thing is like you helped me through all of it. Like you were not afraid to like talk about my bowel movements and give me solutions that worked. Like, I mean, like who does that? Like I probably had like more intimate conversations with you than like anyone besides my doctor and my mom.
Yeah.
But So anyway, but it was an incredible experience. So after the first round, I was even hesitant of doing another because I was like feeling great. Like I was like super great. And again, you were like if you haven't reached your goal, like go for it. And so, but I was nervous because like, it's hard. Like it's hard to have that much discipline, and it's hard. But I'm so grateful I did the second round, because the first round I regained control over my health. And in the second round is where I really committed to this being a lifestyle. And I don't think if I would have done one round, it would have been a lifestyle. I think it could have very easily been just like the most effective diet that I've ever done. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it was during the second round, and I finished the second round like the week of Christmas. And I hit my goal weight the week of Christmas. And so I had decisions to make in terms of like, was I going to eat the pumpkin pie and the toffee and the caramels and the fudge and all that stuff? And I made up my mind to, and I was going into the maintenance phase, and I just made up my mind. I was like, no, like I can have just as much amazing experiences with my family without the food. And that's like my family's very like experiences and food are like the same thing. And so like I've actually received like a lot of flack from my family this year because of what I've done, because I bring my own food to every event, and my family just gives me the riot act for it. And
I
but
think everybody's family does.
yeah, but at the end of the day, it's my body and it's my health. And so yeah, it's been an amazing journey. Like I classify like 2019 as my year of restoration. And it is like in large part due to the metabolic reboot program and learning what it means to live a healthy lifestyle, and understanding that like paleo is like the closest thing that fits with like what we're doing, and really just taking on that identity. Like my whole identity has changed. And yeah, and even like this is like really vulnerable, and I haven't told anyone this, but like I haven't been on a date for 5 years because I didn't want to. I was like, the person that I would attract, the way that I look and feel right now, is not the person that I want to be with for the rest of my life and forever. And last night I went on 2 dates back to back.
Yes.
So I had a bowling date at 6 and then a dinner date at 8.
Do they
And
know that? Are they going to watch this and be like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that?
maybe, I don't know if one of them is your clients, but if so, I'll suffer the consequences later. But anyway, I mean, I literally, like, Jared, it's changed everything for me. Like it's changed my mind, my heart, my body. Like even the fact that like I literally have not been on a date in 5 years, and I went on 2 last night. So
Wow.
yeah, it just makes me emotional to think about. I just am so grateful. I'm so grateful. And the transformation for me is way beyond physical. And yeah, and like, and my whole body, my body shape has literally changed. Like you know those like Facebook memories that pop up in your newsfeed? So this week, I must have posted a lot this week 10 years ago, because I'm getting like posts from 10 years ago. And like 10 years ago, I was a very similar weight, but my body structure was completely different. Like my top and my arms were like really thin, but my butt and my thighs was much bigger than it is now. And it's just like, it's amazing. Like my body shape has literally changed. Like I went from size 16 pants to size 6. I'm wearing a size 6 now, and I look so good.
Yes.
So anyway, it's been an amazing journey. I'm so grateful.
Oh, wow. Well, that's awesome. I'm so happy for you. So excited. And like I said before, like you did all the work. I was just grateful to be part of it and at least be able to steer you in the right direction and get you on the path. But I'm so excited for you and the journey, because I remember our first call. There was a lot of questions. I don't know how long it was, but I think it was like an hour and a half or something. Like it was a long
Yeah,
call.
it was a long call.
Lot of skepticism, and it's been fun to watch the journey for you as you've gone through. and change from thinking of this like, and you're not different than a lot of people who have experienced like all the programs, all the exercise routines, all the boot camps, all the shake programs. Like we get stuck in this mentality of like all these things we have to do in this dieting and it's not working, so I need to try something different. Or I'm frustrated and I call it the roller coaster effect, where it's just always up and down and up and down, emotionally, physically, like spiritually, like everything's all over the place. To watch that and you get off that roller coaster and have you feel completely stable and confident and have complete freedom over your health and your body and your emotions, to be able to say, and it's not that we don't experience these things, but you know exactly what to do. You have control now, which is awesome. So super, super, super cool. I'm excited for you for the new you, right? To be able to go forward with the rest of your life, to be in control. So
Yeah, well, it really is. Like, I love how, like you say, like, be in control, because like I feel like I have so much of a better understanding of like what moves the needle, instead of just like, it's like before it was like a crapshoot and it was like, oh, I'll try this and we'll see what happens. And then I've learned so much from you about what complete freedom means. Like, I thought that freedom meant that you could do whatever, whenever, but like true freedom is like having a knowledge of what works within certain boundaries. And so I feel like I've been equipped with that, and so, I mean, it's been so good. But I even like just the call that we had last week, like I realized while so much of this journey has been very holistic, like it really was mostly physical, and there's like a lot of emotional work that needs to be done still, in terms of like my relationship to food and snacking and cravings and things like that. And so this week I've just been like really, really aware of, when, like, so for example, like I came home from my 2 dates last night, and I had eaten dinner, we went to a steakhouse and it was great. I had salad and broccoli and steak and no butter, and it was just awesome. But I came home and I was just like, I just went on 2 dates for the first time in 5 years. I deserve a snack. So I made these nut butter cookies out of Danielle Walker's Against All Grain book. And I had like 3 cookies last night at like midnight. And I don't know, part of me was like, okay, is this like caving to a craving, or is this like a legitimate, like, good job, like,
absolutely,
you deserve it? So.
absolutely. And the cool thing is, and this is for those maybe just starting or watching this, like one of the things we talk about a lot, and we go through different phases, of course, we don't start this way, but we get to the point where you absolutely can still have cookies. You can have treats. You can go out to eat. You can travel and still maintain the weight. And the cool thing is you eat those cookies at 12 o'clock on, at night, and you make these delicious, awesome cookies that were probably amazing, and you're not going to gain any weight. You don't have to feel guilty about that. That was absolutely a good job. Like this is a huge thing for you. This is a breakthrough to be able to go from where you were to not feeling like you wanted a date to where you are. Like, celebrate it. And food is okay to use that. But I think that's a huge victory in and of itself. Well, so many victories there. But yeah, absolutely. That's huge. So that's exciting.
Yeah, it was fun. So, and cookies are my favorite dessert. So like, it's been hard not having cookies. So that was like the second paleo cookie essentially that I've had. And it's just so nice to be able to like, and just know that it's good for me, like that it's not going to hurt me. And granted, I understand, like you're saying, like there's a time and a place, right? Like when you're in the losing phase, like there's a different regimen than when you're in the lifestyle phase. But
yeah,
so
cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. So okay, as you join the program, let's for those maybe just starting out.
Yeah.
When you first started, it's obviously different than when you've done 2 rounds, right? And what's been how much weight have you lost total?
67 pounds.
67 pounds. So cool. Okay, so you lost 67, 31 the first round, right?
Uh-huh.
And then obviously the rest since then.
Yeah, and it was basically, so I would say like the second round was about the same. It was like 31 again, but I've lost more since in the, as I've done like the lifestyle phase, and as I've added back in exercise and things like that, like I've lost a bit more. So
yeah. Cool. Which is really cool, because that means like I just got a text from a woman who did the program a year ago. She's like, I dropped 3 pounds since we stopped working together. And it's been a year, which is exactly what you're experiencing. Like when you start to know how to do this long term, like you're going to look back in a year and 10 years and 50 years and be like, I am the same weight with the same amount of energy and feel awesome. Like, and it's cool. So anyway, okay. So as you started the program, you mentioned things were hard. How long did that last? I mean, obviously there's an adjustment, there's some tweaks. You were drinking shakes and that kind of thing. I know there was a time where like we weren't seeing the progress we wanted as well. If I remember right, like in the beginning, we had to like work through some things. What was that process like? How long did that last until you were like, yeah, like I got this. Like this is easy. Like I can do this. And you started feeling really good.
Yeah. So, well, so in the very beginning, well, this was true for both rounds. Like the loading days were way more challenging than I anticipated. Like,
And for those who don't know what that is, we just basically have you eat a ton of food the first 2 days, like on purpose. So you can literally just gorge yourself. So just.
Yeah. And you're thinking in your mind, like, this is going to rock, but like you get rocked. Like, and you just don't realize like how many calories, like 6,000 calories is. And so like I started out just, I mean, pretty much like nauseous. I was just like, oh man, this is rough. So I was like almost like grateful to like just eat like fruits, veggies, and meats like right afterwards. I was like, whew, this is awesome. But because my lifestyle wasn't so amazing, the first 3 days were of the losing phase where I was doing the 4-4-4 were the most challenging. Probably actually for me it was probably more. I think it was like the first 6 days. I was really, really lethargic. I had brain fog like crazy. I couldn't think, which was really tough for me because I'm an entrepreneur. And so it's not like I could just like be like a little bit less effective. Like it was impacting the money I was making. And I was like, oh my gosh, like this is nuts. So, and we went through a couple different things. Like the first thing we realized is like I was really tired and lethargic, and so like you added a little bit of protein for me, and like that was really, really helpful. And then for a while, like I would be fine after lunch, but in the morning, like I wouldn't be hungry necessarily, but like I just like wouldn't be able to focus. And so like you added some B vitamins for me in the morning, and that got better. You're always telling me to add more salt to water. And honestly, like now, like if I ever feel hungry or tired at any point during the day, I literally like take a pinch of Himalayan salt and put it under my tongue, and like it goes away, like just like that. So, so like you helped me understand like salt and like electrolytes in the body. And then I think the thing that threw me off the most, and this will make most sense to the women in the program, but like my hormones dramatically affected what was happening on the scale, up and down. All right. Like before my period, the scale would go up, and then like right when it started and then at the end, it would just be like massive drop offs. And so I had to learn to like be okay, then like recognize that the hormones were playing a role instead of like being upset that like I was doing something wrong. And so that was a huge benefit of like weighing myself every day, is like you can watch the effect of food, the effect of hormones, the effect of stress. And for me, sleep was huge as well. Like if I got any less than 7 hours of sleep in a night, I would either stay the same or gain weight. And if I got 7 or more, I would lose weight. And so understanding that, and so like really just like connecting like how many components are related to, like the number is the scale, but like it's really about like what inflammation is going on in the body, right? And so I just didn't realize like how much was all tied in from to what you eat and what activity level you have and what stress is going on and your sleep and your hormones. Like there's just a lot of factors. Like our body is like a really complex organism, and I think sometimes we try to oversimplify things. And so really just in the beginning, it was just seeing how many things are impacting what's going on in my body, and like accepting that and like owning it, and not like being mad at like my chemistry. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I think too many times we try to say, oh, I've got belly fat, or I've got joint pain, or I've got headaches, and they're all separate individual things, when really the same things are causing all of them basically. And so when you start addressing those things in the first couple of days, especially in the program, we get this detox and all this stuff, and you're like, oh. Then you start piecing everything together, and you start fixing and addressing these things. And all of a sudden, you're going, wow, like I'm feeling better, and I'm feeling awesome. And then you start learning that to learn to listen to your body, and now you know what to do, how to do it, and why it works, and how to maintain health long term. So that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. So as you went through the process, now that we've been, you're at your kind of ideal place or very close, and you've gone through this journey, what was like one or two, if you can narrow it down, like aha moments? Like what are one or two things, or maybe three if you need to, like things that you learned that if you were to impart to somebody else who's just, starting, embarking on their own journey, like what would those three things be, or however many you want to talk about?
Yeah. Biggest ahas. I think the very first one is that this is about your health, not about your weight. Like that has been the biggest transformation for me, and it's also made the biggest difference in my ability to make good decisions, right? So like instead of like being at a family event, like, so for example, like for Thanksgiving, like I ate the turkey with the family, but like I didn't do the regular, I didn't do the mashed potatoes, and I didn't do the green bean casserole and the sweet potato casserole and all that stuff. Like I just, because I was in the middle of it, like I had like a salad and some sauteed green beans and then the turkey. And I was totally happy, but like my family was like, I feel so bad for you. Like, I can't believe that you are depriving yourself, things like that. And like in my head, like I wasn't rude, but like in my head, I was like, you're the one who's filling your body with a bunch of toxins and junk. Like I feel bad for you, And so I would just say, it's okay. Like this is a choice that I've made and I'm happy with it. And I feel great because of the choices that I've made, and then like 2 hours later, my whole family's like, blah, and I'm like, let's go. But so recognizing that it's about health really helped me to not see it as deprivation, but to see it as like I'm making good choices for my health. Yeah. Then the second aha, the biggest one, I would say, is that understanding like what your body actually needs to function and what it really means to feel good. Like I think sometimes like when we're coming out of a lifestyle where like you're just constantly putting inflammatory things in your body, like your normal is like this mild grade, constant in pain, fatigued, that you just think is normal. And then like when you clear all that stuff out of your system and like your new normal is like way higher, you're just like, holy cow, like I didn't realize. Because I mean, now I'm to a point where like if I have anything that has like an unhealthy refined oil or sugar that I shouldn't have, without me knowing it, I get an instant brain fog and I'm like ticked. I'm like, dang it, like I'm not as productive, when I'm sure like I was walking around where that was like my normal state.
Yeah. So
I think like being in a state of like just like hyper productivity and performance, and realizing like what your body needs to like actually function. Like you've shared this analogy with me quite a few times, and I think about it a lot. And it's that like the liquid that you water a tree with matters. Like if you water a tree with water, it's going to grow. If you water a tree with gasoline, it's going to die. And both are liquid, but and it's not like the tree dies instantly. Like it's going to take a minute to die, but like it will die if like you keep watering it with gasoline. And so I think about that a lot, and just like, how can I be healthy and feel the best. And then the last thing, and this is something that's come more towards the later part of the program, but just that like because you told me for months, like, you can eat anything you want. And like literally the whole time I was just like, no, you can't. You're a liar. But like last night was evidence of it. Like I made amazing cookies that were great. And like I've found a way to make things that are just incredible. Like I make this ground turkey chili all the time. And like when you think chili, you think beans and cheese and things like that. And I don't have beans in it and I don't have cheese in it, but like it is amazing and I love it. And it tastes just like chili. And, you know, like, and it still satisfies that craving for chili and it's just fine. Or like spaghetti squash is like my go-to. I love spaghetti squash. And so I will make all kinds of sauces for spaghetti squash. And like, I don't sit there and wish, man, I wish I had durum wheat noodles right now. Like, I just don't, you know? And like, if I ever have a meal where like I can't get a salad, like it makes me upset. I'm like, I have to have a salad.
Have my salad.
Yeah. So anyway, I just think like just learning to, and like, I love like when I'm with family and friends and they're like, I can't believe how much you're eating. Or they're like, your plate is so colorful and it looks so delicious. And I'm like, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's so
It is
delicious.
delicious.
You know?
Cool.
So, yeah, I just think really learning that you really can eat anything. You just have to make sure that it has nutrient dense stuff. Like I've made some, and since the lifestyle phase, I've made some amazing treats, like a macaroon and that nut butter cookie and a chia seed pudding and like just some amazing things that totally are satisfying, but like are not hurting my body. So
Yeah.
and I'm just amazed at how I don't miss things. Like I thought I would miss cheese so much and I really don't, like, which has shocked me, but I think it's because I've learned to have other things
Yeah.
taste good, you know? And like, I thought I'd miss soda way more than I do, but I don't. Like, but I'll tell you, I'm a LaCroix junkie. I love LaCroix. So
Yeah. My new favorite one that I don't tell people about in the losing phase because it uses real fruit juice. It's called Spindrift.
oh,
Anyway,
I haven't heard of that one.
it uses fruit juice as the flavor in sparkling water. So anyway, you can get a big box of it at Costco. We always get like once or twice a week or once every 2 weeks or something. But anyway, it's my new favorite one, but I'm right there with you. Yeah.
I love it. So yeah, it's awesome. So, yeah. And I'm trying to think. I've kept a really detailed journal. So if I went back through my journal, I could give you like 10,000 lessons, but like those are like
Yeah.
the,
Well, I think those are huge. Like just realizing one that it's all about health. Like you got to stop focusing on weight loss. You've got to start getting the body healthy because if you focus on weight loss, that doesn't mean you're going to get healthy. You're going to feel crappy and you're not going to get permanent results. And then that like I love the idea that like I was talking with someone today this morning how when we are eating poor food, that's our normal. And we don't realize we can never realize how good we can feel because we've never felt it. It's like if you lived in a cave your entire life, you wouldn't know what sunlight was unless you went out of the cave. And some people like they can't comprehend that because we don't live in a cave, right? And they're like, but literally, if that was all you ever knew, that was all you'd ever know. You wouldn't know there was sunlight. And so all of a sudden, when your brain fog's gone and your joints don't hurt and you have tons of energy, you're like, I didn't even realize I was dealing with this.
yeah.
I love that concept. I think it's so powerful, and it is true. You can eat whatever you want as long as the ingredients are nutrient dense. And of course, that doesn't mean you can go eat whatever, like the Domino's pizza or whatever. Not to call Domino's out, but you get the idea, right? But you can have pizza, you can have cinnamon rolls, you can have cookies, you can have drinks and snacks and travel, and do it without compromising your health. So I think those are huge. I think those are like, if I had to summarize 3 things that I want people to learn in the program, I'd say that's it. Like you can do it. You can be healthy. You can achieve your goals. You can feel amazing. You can do it sustainably. Right. So,
Yeah. No, it's seriously been so great. Oh man, it's been so great. Yeah. And you don't realize sometimes like how the effect it's having until, like, for example, I was with some friends at a conference recently and the afternoon came and they were all like just dragging. They were like, oh my gosh, I need a nap. Like I need an energy drink. And I was just like,
let's go.
you know, and I was like, it was just amazing to me just to see, and not that like, it's judging or comparing, but like I just recognize that like, just the energy that I have because my body is filled with good fuel. It's just awesome. It's just so fun.
Cool. Cool. Well, that's exciting. I'm super super pumped for you. Super excited for you, and the progress you made. So if you were to, I always like to ask this question. If you, not that you're calling one individual person out, but a group of people, a type of person, like in your mind, having gone through the process, if someone watched this and was like, I don't know if that's for me, like what kind of person do you feel like could benefit and see similar results that you've seen?
Um, group of people. Well,
Or like a type of person that you feel like would benefit the most?
yeah. Well, I think obviously, like if you are like, there's some crazy statistic that like a woman changes their diet plan like every 4 months on average, like in America or something crazy like that. Like if you find yourself jumping from program to program looking for some result, whether that is health or weight, like if you find yourself in that situation, like your last program you'll ever do is the metabolic reboot, like, and it's the last one you'll ever do because it's the last one you'll ever freaking need. Oh my gosh, it's so good. um let's see, but the type of person, I think someone who is really, it's like someone who's health conscious but like is really frustrated because they're having a hard time navigating how the food industry has trained and conditioned us to eat. Like the food industry and marketing has created this society where you you need to have food that's fast and convenient, and you can have food that's fast and convenient, but it's not always healthy. And so like we've turned into this packaged processed food society that just is leading to an onslaught of health problems. And I have so many friends and family who like they recognize that that's a problem, but like they don't see the way out. They don't see how like there's another way around it because like that's just like all that's around them. And so I think someone who like is health conscious and environmental conscious but like doesn't exactly know like where to turn, I think they would be amazing. I think if you're a yo-yo dieter, like I was, that is obviously a great fit. And I also think that like if you're a corporate person, this is also a great fit. Like if you find yourself sitting a lot, and so it's like you don't have as much time to prepare your meals or time to move, like especially the losing phase, like it's amazing because you don't have to exercise. Like you shouldn't exercise. Like it is recommended that you don't because you'll hurt yourself. And so that was amazing, right? To like not like have like the pressure to work out for like 6 months last year. That was so great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I will say I've enjoyed bringing
Yeah.
exercise back into my regimen, but it made it amazing. It took that pressure off of me as like a busy working person. So busy working people, environmentally conscious, and frustrated yo-yo dieters. That's how I would, if I was running your Facebook ads, that's how I would target them.
Maybe we should talk. No, that's perfect. I think you're right on. I love working with busy business owners because take the stress away, take the guilt away from not exercising. Like you don't need it, and you're far better off losing the weight without it. And anyway, yeah. So I appreciate that. I think that's right on. So very cool. Well, any last words? Like if somebody's joining the program and they were like, Lisanne, like I want to see the kind of results you've seen. Like you've obviously seen great things. Now, really quick, give us a rundown really fast. We didn't cover this. You kind of mentioned a bit. Tell us the things you've experienced. 67 pounds weight loss.
Yeah.
I know last time you went through a bunch of things from the first time we talked, but
Yeah. So 67 pounds down, and my goal is to hit 70, just to like say that I did, even if I don't stay there. And I went from size 16 to size 6 pants, and like the lowest amount. Sorry, my fire alarm just went off. It'll go off in just 1 second. Hold on. Let me mute myself. Okay, I think it's up. So like I've never been a size 6 ever in my whole life. Like the lowest I've ever gotten is like a size 10. So for me to like be a size 6, like it's like a 35-year-old woman. Like it's blowing my mind. Like absolutely unbelievable. And I think some of the things I mentioned last time was like no bad breath, no smelly gas, because like your system is just clean and clear and working great. No brain fog. I sleep better. Because I think one, you're just healthier, but and the extra weight being there, like not there anymore, like that is just super, super helpful. And like crazy things, like even like things where like you don't necessarily like need to get like a new size, but like my shoes fit better, like because
Yeah.
my feet aren't like as inflamed. You know what I mean? Like it's like something small. Like I didn't get new size shoes. My shoes just they feel better. And I used to like only be able to like stand. Like I used to get really like my joints and my feet would get tired just standing in one place, like talking. And now like I can stand in one place forever, like, well, maybe not forever, but like for a lot longer, like without needing to sit down. And I think again, it's the less impact of the joints from the extra weight, but it also is, I'm sure, decreased inflammation of that. I trying to think. Run faster, jump higher. Energy, yeah, my energy has just been awesome. We've talked a lot about energy, so yeah, like I pop out of bed like ready to go, and when I go to sleep, it's not even necessarily like I'm exhausted. Like it's just like, well, I guess I should sleep now. Like
Do that.
you know, and it's great. So it's just so that has been great. Yeah, I think those are probably the main physical manifestations.
Cool. Well, those are awesome. Those, I
And
mean,
not to mention, I mean, the emotional, like the confidence, right? Like,
yeah,
I
I
mean,
was just gonna say, confidence. I know just in our conversations, over the last 8 months, like I can see it. I can see it radiating from you. This just like I'm in control. I'm completely confident with my life, my business, my health, my everything. So it's really cool. It radiates from you, which is awesome.
yeah. Well, it's been seriously such a blast. I was talking to one of my old Facebook coaches just this morning, and I haven't talked to him in a couple months, and he was like, "Man, you just seem so much more confident," you know. And like the last time I was working with him, it was like in like the beginning of my second round. So I mean, it's not like he was like it was like a while ago, 70 pounds ago. It was like really not too far since my last conversation with him, but he was just like, wow, like you're so different. So,
Yeah.
and I really think, I mean, like, I know this is not a religious uh, broadcast that we're doing, but like our physical state impacts our spiritual state. And so I felt so much more in tune with God and my ability to communicate with him and hear what he's trying to tell me. Because like my physical body like is more in line with like my spiritual self. And so yeah, it's literally impacted every single area of my life.
Yeah. Wow. I love that. And I'm okay talking about the spiritual side because, and I've probably told you this before, but nothing has impacted my spiritual health. And that includes my emotions and relationships and all of that. But my whole life has taken control of my health. Nothing has had a greater impact than when I learned to take control of my health. And I felt more spiritual. I felt more connected. I felt more in control of my emotions and felt like I really had self-mastery, which I think is the purpose of eternal progression and eternal growth is to learn to master yourself. So I love that. That's huge. So very cool. Well, awesome. Okay. So you've seen huge, I mean, life-changing things, which is really cool. I'm super, super excited for you. If you were to say someone's joining the program, back to that question, they would say, Lisanne, what do I do? Like, what should I do to like get these same results? I'm just starting out. Like, what's your piece of wisdom you'd impart to them? Your words of advice?
Yeah. Well, I think what is so challenging. So I've spoken to like after my first interview with you, like I had conversations with 3 or 4 people, and like it's easier for me to just be like, just do it, like you have to do it because like I've seen the results. But like I remember being that person where like it's a scary move, right? It's you're I think to join any health-based program, you are opening yourself up to a level of vulnerability and admitting that you're in a bad place, which is like it hits your ego bad. Like it hits your ego so bad, like that you're like, yes, like I have to pay someone to help me because like I can't help myself. And even just like getting over that mental hurdle is like really, really challenging. And because like you don't want to admit that you're in a bad place. You don't want to admit that like your current health habits are wrong. But you also don't want to admit those things, but then have it not work, because then you look like a fool.
Right.
And like you're setting yourself up for like a status decrease if like you put yourself out there and then it doesn't work. And like that just like for human psychology, that's like a huge no. So like the human psychology is always trying to protect you from anything where you will look like a fool. And the biggest thing is like this may sound cheesy, but like, what do you have to lose? Like you already are in a place that you're not happy with, or you wouldn't be thinking about this in the first place. So your status is already lower than you want it to be. And your ego is already shot more than you want it to be shot. So like, what do you have to lose? Like at the very least, you're going to learn a ton about proper nutrition and how to be actually healthy in a world today that is like filled with environmental contaminants all over the place. And at the very most, your entire life is going to change. So like, what do you have to lose? Like nothing. You really have nothing to lose.
Right. Yeah. Awesome. Well, I love it. I think that's great advice. I think that it is scary. It's a scary jump. It's new. It's different. It's like you say, I don't want to fail again, but that's huge. I think that's perfect advice for someone just getting started or someone who's apprehensive about getting going. So I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, good. Well, Lisanne, thank you. I know you're busy, so we'll let you get back to your growing your business and your healthy life. But I appreciate you sharing your story. Appreciate you being willing to be vulnerable with us and share your experience and the growth that you've had and the change that you've seen. So thank you. And thank you for letting me be part of your journey. So it's been a pleasure.
Oh, it has been so great. And seriously, like anything I can do to help, I am like an evangelist for life of this thing, because, and that's the other thing too, is like, you didn't teach something that would like work for some, like you taught like health principles that are universally applicable. And that, oh my gosh, like there's just, this is not a fad, right? Like these are foundational principles. Like it is not a fad that Jared is teaching. So, and I'm happy, like if anyone is watching live or like is watching the recording, like, and you want me to chat with you, like you obviously know what side of the fence I'm on, but I'm happy to answer any questions and share my experience. Like I can't tell you what to do, but like I can tell you my experience. So, but thank you. Seriously, I am just, oh my gosh, so grateful. I've had a lot of coaches, Jared, and health-wise and business-wise and all of it, like I believe in coaching. So I've had a lot of coaches, and I don't think I've had one that's has changed my life as much as this program has. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you. It's been a pleasure. And like I always say, you did the work. So you just keep at it and you're going to do the right things, which I'm excited for. So awesome. Well, thank you, Lisanne. I'm going to let you go so you can get back to your day. Appreciate you again. If you have questions, like Lisanne said, you can reach out to her. Don't bombard her with a million things. She's busy. You can ask me as well. Reach out if you have any questions. But thanks again, Lisanne. We'll talk to you later.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. See ya.